They say that youth is wasted on the young, and I agree. I think youth is overrated. Yesterday was my birthday, and a bunch of people came to talk to me to say happy birthday, that kind of stuff. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's my age, and he's turning 30 this year as well. And he's having this crisis. He's thinking that he might be getting too old, that there are things that will be harder for him coming forward, especially in the love aspect. And it's really common to have this kind of feeling. Some people have it when they're about to turn 30, some people have it when they turn 40, 45, 50. Some people have it all the time, and they're always thinking that their youth or their looks are the most important aspects of their personalities, their best attributes. And I also had this in the past. About 2 or 3 years ago, I started thinking about this coming of age, in a sense. And actually, what we are really afraid isn't a certain number. What we're really afraid is contemplating the finitude of life, contemplating that life inevitably will end, and thinking, will it be worth it? Am I going to do everything that I'm supposed to do? Should I do something different than what I've been doing? Will I regret having done or not having done certain things? And in a way, I think I'm lucky, because I'm an old soul. So ever since I was a kid, or at least ever since I was a teenager, I thought about this. My grandma had cancer when I was about 18, 17 maybe, 16. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when we discovered she was sick. But she was living at my parents' house at the time, pretty much. Sometimes she'd go to my aunt's, but most of the time at my mom's. And since I was living there as well, every time I went away, every time I went out to college, or if I was going out with my friends, I'd go and kiss my grandma goodbye. Say, bye, Grams, I'm going out. And every time I came back, I'd do the same. I'd say, hey, Grams, I'm back. And I did it every day because I knew at that age already that one day it would be the last time. And I didn't want to regret that. So I always went and kissed her hello or kissed her goodbye every time I went out. And that was something that she really appreciated. She liked it, and she used to say to my mom, oh, Gabriel, he's so nice. He always comes and says hello, says goodbye to me. Like, she wasn't thinking from that lens that I was doing it because, not only because, of course, she was my grandma and I loved her, but because I didn't want to have any regrets when the time came, because inevitably it would come. She was already on her late 70s, early 80s at the time, and she was sick. She always had heart problems, so it was inevitable that one day would be the last time. And I did it for years, and one day it was the last time. I'm not sure which day it was that it was the last time. But when the time came that she passed away, and she had a bit of a suffering because she spent a month and a half roughly at the hospital before passing away. wasn't that I wasn't sad, but I had already processed most of that grief. I was ready for it. And my mom, on the other hand, she was definitely not ready. She felt that she had failed her mother, even though she had taken care to the best of her abilities, taken her to the doctors hundreds of times maybe. She still felt that in her heart. She felt that, perhaps not a regret, but she felt like she failed because my grandma didn't survive forever, even though that was impossible. And she got depressed and she got in a very dark place for a while, and it took her years to really get over that. And this is the thing, life, they say that it's not that life's short. Life's actually pretty long if we give ourselves the chance of living, of actually living. And I think that's true. You don't need to live many times. You don't need to live 1,000 years. If you live a regular life of 70, 80, 90 years, you can do so much. Because we tend to overestimate what we can do in a day or in a week, but we underestimate what we can do in a year or even in a decade. We underestimate. Think about 5 years ago where you were. What were you doing? What did you think? Who did you talk to? What kind of content you consumed? What were your habits? Think about this. Remember how you were when you were 18, when you were 20, or if you're very young, if you are 18 right now, it's even deeper. It's even more intense, because if you are 18 and you remember 5 years ago when you were 13, how different were you? How different were the things you liked or the thoughts you had? Didn't you think that things were different than what you think now? Now that you have more freedom, now that you are becoming your own man, your own woman. That's the thing with life. Life is beautiful. We only have one chance, at least if you don't believe in reincarnation and that kind of thing. We only have one chance to live, and we need to take it. We need to live to the best of our ability. And living to the best of our ability has nothing to do with hedonism. Quite the contrary, I'd say. Life is not only about pleasure. It's not about those things that people say we should be doing. It's not about that constant seeking of pleasure for the sake of pleasure. And when I say pleasure, I mean in any type of pleasure. It can be food, it can be looking for people to hook up with, it can be traveling, it can be social media, it can be anything that messes around with our dopamine transmitters in our brains. And back to the talk with my friend, I told him that life is beautiful and that many of the things that he likes to do that he's afraid that he won't be able to do when he's 40, when he's 50, when he's 60, either he will be able to do them or he won't even want to do them anymore, because things in life, we have stages in life, kind of like a video game, one of those old video games like Super Mario or Sonic. We have stages. So in each stage there are objectives, there are things that you will want to do and things that won't make any sense anymore, so you won't want to do them anymore. And that's the thing with people who don't do the things that they were supposed to do at a certain stage of their lives. Because if you don't do the things you are supposed to do when you are 18, when you're 20, then one day down the line, when you're 40, you will have that hole in your soul and you'll be thinking, what if, what if, what if? And that's why many people have those midlife crises. So today, we've talked about the finitude of life, about how youth is overrated in a sense because it's wasted on the young, how I already had this crisis a long time ago, and having those kinds of crises, they may seem like they're bad when we're having them, but think of it as if it were a tunnel. So you go into the tunnel and you have to go out. You see that light at the end of the tunnel, and as soon as you go out of the tunnel, you have so much more clarity that it ends up being worth it. So think about the things in your life that you sometimes think, maybe I'm too old or I'm too young to do this. Why do you want to do those things in the first place? Is youth overrated for you, or isn't it? It's about being. It's not about the external. It's about being you. It's about doing things in a natural way where nothing is forced. It's about being open to life, being open to experiences. And at the end of the day, it's about knowing that life's finite, knowing that there will be a last day, and that it might as well be today, because we never know when the last day will be. But exactly because of that, you know that each day is an opportunity. Each day is a gift. That's why we call the present the present. And if you think about it this way, if you use every day, if you seize every day, then life will be worth it. Life will be valuable. Life will be beautiful. And it won't matter if you live 35 or if you live 125 years. If you seize every moment of every day, life will be super worth it. Keep rocking, keep rolling. See you next time.